Yes, we are French, we know the best way. No, you don't.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, a very warm welcome to you too. It's part 2 of getting the Twingo 2 back on the road. So if you've not seen part 1, it's linked up here. Have a watch of that. That's us going over to Luton, picking it up and dragging it back here. And my aim in that video was to take it for an MOT and find out what's wrong. Unfortunately, the MOT station cancelled the MOT as we're about 5 minutes away from it. So it's now booked in to go for an MOT and service. Now, since the last video, I have done a few bits and pieces to it. However, because it's winter at the moment in the UK, I'm very short of light. But thankfully, I've got that little Sofern light, which you can see is clipped to me there. But more on that in a minute. The first job here was to swap that battery connector. Now, the new one, the bolts were a bit too big for it to fit together. So I could either force it through or I could swap the bolts. And I decided I was going to swap the bolts. But before that, take a look at this. Here's the new one, all nice and shiny and complete, and here is the old one. As you can see, there's only one tiny bit of metal there left to fit around the battery, so hopefully that's going to solve a few things. The other thing I'm going to do is swap the battery out. Speaking of batteries, in that little Sofern light that you can see connected to me, you'll see that it runs out of power just there, but because it's powered by an AA battery, which is rechargeable, it's got a nice little USB-C port on the side of it, but you can just swap the battery out, as I am doing on the car, and it will keep it all powered up and you can carry on doing your job. Now, new battery's going in, but Renault have done something very annoying.
Why did I put a battery box around the thing? Oh, you bloody... yes, we are French, we know the best way. No, you don't. You pains in the arse. You've left the sodding thing open to be able to get into the fucking thing. Right, now we're talking.
So they put this battery box around the battery, which doesn't make any sense to me, but hey-ho. Anyway, let's start it up. There we are, lovely, running absolutely fine. Now in the first video you will have seen that I was using this King Bolan OBD reader. Now the battery's been swapped and it's running the correct battery and the terminal is fitting correctly. I rescanned the car just to see if there was anything new on there or if it had managed to clear down most of the faults, and thankfully it had. The only one that was left was something to do with the air conditioning, which I'm not too concerned about. Also for the MOT, I wanted to make sure that all of the wipers were working as well as possibly could, so cleaned all the glass and fitted brand new wipers front and back. I also gave it a Rain-X treatment as well. If you've not used Rain-X before, well worth giving a go. So, time for the MOT. Let's go. Woo! MOT time. I can't get over the size of the steering wheel. It's so big. For such a dinny little car, I've got this huge steering wheel. Feels totally out of proportion. All the buttons are so diddy and really rather sweet. And you've got this huge steering wheel. And the Renault parts bin, weren't they? Right, we've got everything sorted. The only problem is we haven't got a steering wheel. Don't worry, get one off the Espas. What, the biggest car we make? Yeah, put one of them in. That. In case you're wondering why I'm taking it to Quick Fit for an MOT and service, it's right before Christmas and trying to get this car booked in, honestly, I rang maybe 5 garages, every single one was like, no chance, not before Christmas. Quick Fit, however, well, they were the ones who cancelled the MOT on Saturday, so they owed me an MOT anyway. It's quite good fun, this, isn't it? I like little cars like this. I've never had a little car either. I've always had, I think the smallest car I've had is like a Mark IV Astra hatch, which technically back in the day was a family car, whereas this is actually a little car. Oh look, little. Oh, there's so many components. It ain't going to take one of those to not be up to scratch for it to fail. Here we are then. Ooh! Come on, little car. You can do this. I want you to pass. I want you to pass. I want you to pass. Please pass. No time like the present. Bing bong, bing bong. Yes, yes, yes. So Quick Fit said they're going to need the car for pretty much the whole day because they're doing MOT and service. So in goes the little Twingo for its MOT, and I headed home. And the MOT was at 9:15. So now I'm going to go on to the MOT check Gov website and see if there's any updates. I'm so nervous about this. Whew. I saw red. I was scared, but it says MOT is expired. Date registered. How about this? Date registered 31st of December 2010. That was a pre-reg, wasn't it? That like we need to get them in before the end of the year. Hit the numbers. No updates yet. Alright, it's been 2 hours. I'm going to check again. This is awful, this is. Part of me wonders if they've done the MOT or they've gone to do it, found something and said, that's going to fail it. So rather than fail it, we'll fix it and then put it through the MOT. I hope they do it that way. Yeah, still showing as expired. No. Still showing as MOT expired. Maybe they didn't find the £50 note up in the sun visor. Oh my god! It's got an MOT! Oh, it's got no fuel in it, mind. Right, let's go put some fuel in. It had some advisories, most of them on perishable things like, rubber boots and the tyres. I knew the tyres would flag up. I thought it might fail on the tyres, but no, they've passed it. So what is left to do on the Twingo? Well, there is obviously the advisories, and I am going to get those bits fixed. Hopefully I'm going to do it myself in the garage, because I want this car to be, as good a condition as it should be, because it'd be a shame to let it down, wouldn't it? It's also having new belts fitted, because although the belts are okay, they're old, and I don't want to risk it. It'd be such a shame for 14,000 miles for it to snap a belt and break the engine. Would you like to know a rundown of costs so far? I'll give you a rundown of costs so far. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for the car. That's nothing to do with this. But in terms of getting it back on the road, right, so far, battery, 70 quid. Battery clip connector, 10 quid. MOT, 50 quid. Service, guess how much a full service was, including full brake fluid change? 280 quid! It's so cheap! 280 quid! Can't get anything on my 5 Series for 280 quid. So what's that come to then? How much we spent on it so far? 280, 320, 390, £400. £400, and it is back on the road. The next video though is not a fixing video. No, the next part is cleaning. One of my favourite things to do. You'd be amazed how much better a car can look when it's all clean. Now I know in the footage it actually doesn't look that bad, but when you're up close to it, it's not very nice, because it's been sat outside for 5 years. So I'm going to give it a proper clean, proper clean. We're going to be doing outside, inside, and underneath the bonnet as well, because as you saw, it's just not looking good at all. But once it's done, it's going to look perfect. So if you want to see that, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll get a notification as soon as that video goes live. If you've not seen part 1 of us going down to Luton and recovering it, it's quite a funny video. Go and have a look. It's on YouTube right now. And if you've enjoyed this video, underneath here, you'll find a thumbs up. If you hit that, it helps put this video in front of more people, as does the new hype button. Have you seen the hype button? Press that. That really helps the video grow. So all I have to say is thank you very much for watching this video. I genuinely hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you for part 3, the deep clean. See you again soon. What a cool little thing this is. Whee! Everything about this car is cute. Listen. Isn't that sweet?